the long chain, chain sugars, and the thicker proteins will be
Hey, Chris, let's blindfold you and let's put some IPAs in front of your face and see which ones you like best.
Okay.
So I think it's an appearance thing. You know, I feel like people immediately judge it because, like, oh, it's not clear. That's not how IPAs should be.
Are we doing that this show or next show?
No, we can do that on the next show.
Okay.
Well, we got plenty of.
Considering we don't have any blindfolds, so I think it's next show.
Hey, somebody take off their sock.
Well, I mean, hey, look. When a pretty girl asks you to put on a blindfold, the right answer is yes.
That's actually a different show.
Open your mouth and enjoy it.
Oh my God!
So that's what it is. It's like
okay,
I feel
is this
like
show just you and me?
Oh Jesus! We just went there.
Right.
Okay,
you are listening to the Galacticos Power Hour.
We are signing off now.
But you know that's the thing. I guarantee you, if I've
been blindfolded before.
I don't.
Hey, you know, I don't need to know.
Unfortunately,
I really don't need to know that.
But did it involve beer?
Well, it's usually on What's on Tap. We used to do every.
That's
every
right,
show,
every show. Yeah. I've actually
did,
competed in that.
Yeah, every show.
You did a blindfold challenge.
We did a blindfold challenge.
And I regretted taking Altoids before I went up to the show.
yeah, we did a blindfold challenge
affected
every
my performance on that show.
And oftentimes it was me,
on the test.
but sometimes we'd have a guest that would do it, and it's 3 blind beers, and so you put three beers
instead of 3 blind mice, it's 3 blind beers. I like that. I like that.
So the goal was, you know, you've got a blindfold on, so by aroma and flavor only, because you can't see it, you have to tell what style of beer it is.
Hence where the Altoids
nice.
So that's more of a stylistic challenge.
It is.
I'm like, hey, do you like this beer? Do you not like it? Like, no matter what the label has.
You want me to judge? You want me to say, do I like this beer based on the flavor alone and not look at it? And
but
say,
even if you didn't know the name or seen the label or who it's from or when it was brewed, tell me if you like the beer, because that's all that matters.
Break down your mind.
That's all that matters, though.
Well, she's a woman.
She wants to get you to go. Yeah, she wants you to go. This is the best beer I had. It's Spindle Tap Heavy Hands.
Hey, that's my favorite beer.
I'm telling you.
But anyways,
Heavy Hands.
She had him at blindfold.
Let me. All right.
Jesus.
No, I'm in. I'll do it.
Yeah,
perfect.
He's in.
I'm in.
Obviously, he's never
so what did y'all
never
think?
had a problem with me
Did y'all
blindfolded.
think the growler?
I would like some more of that.
I like the maggot.
I would like more of that.
Megan one.
God, dog
the
it.
Boston Brewed Boston Beer Company.
We have our
New
first
England IPA. The New England IPA brewed in New
Freudian
England.
slip.
Yeah, I like the growler as well. It seemed like the distribution retail
I was putting my
market
cup out there to
canned
get some more, but apparently it just kept fucking going away from me.
So are you going to JBF this year?
I'm not. We have meetings scheduled next week for work, and so just timed out that's when GABF was. I'm going to try. Our meetings are over on Thursday, and so I may just try and get up there for Saturday for the awards.
Is this Charlie's last year? Or was it last year? Okay.
No,
dang, man.
Yeah. Well, they gave him an award last year, you know, for all he's done. And he was at CBC, and so they're saying he's going to be there again this year.
All right, some of the 8.7 million people listening want to know who Charlie is.
Charlie Papazian?
Charlie Papazian.
I was like, Papazian?
Papazian. He's Italian. Don't mess up his name. He's Italian. Papazian.
He's the leader of the Brewers Association.
Well, he is, but he's also the founder. So originally it was the homebrewers.
I think right now, is the president still Sam from Dogfish? Is he still the president?
Well, there's a board.
And
then you've got you've got the BA itself. So there's a board of brewers that are
Association.
And so Charlie founded the BA, or the Homebrewers Association, back in like 1979 or
1979.
Somewhere around there.
Yes, sir.
And so he's been in charge of it until like 2 years ago. He stepped down and took more of an emeritus sort of a role where he's just out.
At this point, he's better as a face anyway to get people, just to get other breweries to know, hey, there's a club. You got to join the club. You were in a homebrew club. Now join the professional club.
Yeah. Well, he's been awesome. I mean, of course, he wrote The Joy of Homebrewing.
Right. Absolutely.
Relax and have a homebrew. That's him. So he's been so good for craft beer. I mean, he is. Craft beer.
He as members of the BA, every Thursday they had their the power
did that today.
Their power meeting, and it would be a webinar, sometimes it'd be a host, and it was very, very helpful to us when we were in the industry.
Today's was actually a really good episode. They talked about the growth of the industry.
Right. Yeah, well, growth was a hot topic for me about 2 months ago when they released, when everybody they compiled their data and they released it on their website. and you get to see what's happening with everybody and how it's grown. So let's talk about that. So the growth is still on the uprise, but they still say it's a downtrend. If you're going to be in the media, you're going to say it's a downtrend because the growth wasn't as large as it was in the last 10 years, which has been exponential almost every year. So it's hard to say that craft beer is down. It really is.
It's not growing as much as it was.
I think it's getting better is what it is.
Here's the thing. You've got multiple different numbers coming at you. You've got overall growth of beer sales. All right, you've got overall growth of breweries opening versus breweries closing, which Bart last week from the BA said that 300 breweries have closed. It's either closed last year or expect to close this year. 300 is a big number.
That's a lot.
That's bigger than there's ever been.
There was less than 300 craft breweries in 2006.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. You have to consider IRI data, which this morning when they did the webinar, it was all IRI. And IRI is basically all of your grocery stores, convenience stores. All right. So that's if your beer's packaged and on a shelf somewhere. It does not gauge any type of draft volume. It does not gauge any type of brewery sales.
That's the common man going to the convenience store buying beer.
There's too much selection for the common man, though.
Well,
there is, but we can
there's a lot. There's a lot
better options.
But in terms of growth, here's the way that I had. I think it was Garrett Marrero explained it to me this way when we were talking. This was 4 or 5 years ago because it was still growing, but you're starting to see some downturn from some of the bigger breweries.
Sure.
So what was happening was you still had a lot of growth in the industry, but it was stunted somewhat because Sierra Nevada and Boston Beer and New Belgium were all not seeing growth. And so their numbers being lower
They plateaued.
Actually, they're dropping. They're going. Well, Boston Beer's improved this year, but a couple of the others have gone down.
So craft beer is being affected by craft beer.
So smaller breweries that are growing are hurting that number. It's just like when you average it out. If you take 2 and 5 and take an average, all right, you're going to get that's not a good example. I should have used the round number.
The bigger you are, the bigger the hit you're going to take from the smaller market, the mom and pop.
Exactly. And so what you're seeing is you've got local breweries that are growing and growing quickly, like Eureka Heights. Good God.
With a loyal following.
These guys are growing super fast because they're making great beer. But you know what that means? That means that the Green Flashes and the Boston Beers and the Sierra Nevadas and the Firestone Walkers, they're not selling as much beer because Eureka Heights, I can go to Eureka Heights. They're a mile from my house. I can walk over there and buy beers and have them on site. So am I going to buy those other brands as often? Probably not.
Probably not.
And there's also evidence of that. I mean, just Tuesday, Scott Brewery out of Colorado is pulling out of Texas, which is following other breweries. Southern Tier recently pulled out of Texas. So we're seeing bigger regional, breweries that have been coming into Texas. They're having to pull out because the local.
That only makes sense though because Texas is so hard to frickin' sell in. If we were easier to sell in, I don't think you would have seen that pull out. I really don't.
Well, I think it's twofold. Number one, Texas traditionally is hard because a lot of times you have to get separate label approval for the state of Texas. But then also now I think there's so much offering in Texas from a local standpoint that the out-of-state breweries that have done well in Texas previously and that are especially the ones that are only playing the package game, I mean, they're getting lost in the shelves.
Well,
there's some truth to that.
The numbers game is becoming almost a war on both sides. On the small side, on the big side, it's still a thing. It's still a numbers game. It's still a war. But let's talk about the number games after we come back from a break.
The Galactic Guys. Watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube. And don't forget to tell us how pretty we look. It's what your mother would want. And no one knows your mom like the Galactic Guys. Go to vinyldraftradio.com.
What would you like from your bank or credit union? How about a mobile app that makes banking simple? How about free online banking and mobile bill pay? How about loan decisions made locally? How about 15 convenient locations? Associated Credit Union of Texas has all of these and more. Sounds like you should get associated. ACU of Texas, federally insured by the NCUA. For more info, visit acutx.org.
Elite Care 24-hour emergency room in League City offers all of the services found at a traditional hospital emergency room, but adds very short wait times, a clean and comfortable location, and outstanding service. The goal? For you to see an emergency room physician within 10 minutes of your visit, and to provide you with the best, most comfortable experience while you're with them. Elite Care 24-hour is located at 2530 Gulf Freeway in League City. Call 281-337-7500.
Do you ever wonder how every single insurance company boasts about having the best rates for you? With so many companies, how is it possible that they all can have the best rates? Well, the reality is they're all telling the truth, kind of. You see, each insurance company has a target set of customers that they're looking for, so each company will have the best rates for someone. The challenge is finding the one that likes you the most. Perfect Policy evaluates you through more companies than any other insurance agent, and that's how they find the best policy for you. Contact Perfect Policy today.
Pirates and Poets invite you to join us for the second annual Galveston Bay Songwriters Festival, scheduled for September 28th through the 30th at the Topwater Grill in San Leon. Join us for 3 days of fun and music, featuring artists such as Donnie Brewer.
Do you know Lapa Joe? He's always sitting there in the front row. Whoa, Lapa Joe.
Drop Dead Dangerous.
Take me to heaven tonight.
Lisa Morales, Kelly McGuire, and much more. Tickets and more information can be found at GalvestonBaySongwriters.com.
Chuck's Sports Bar and Memorabilia in League City is exactly what you picture a hometown bar to be. Watch the game with friends, great food, great drinks, and a friendly staff. Chuck's is also the home of celebrity bartender nights, open mic nights with Robert Del Toro, karaoke nights, and more. Chuck's is located at 601 East Main in Old League City, Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 11 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 4 to 1 a.m. Call 832-632-1325 or find them on Facebook, Chuck's Sports Bar, League City.
One of them just threw up in the men's room.
That's gross.
We're back to the Galactic Guys and the Galactic Coast Power Hour on Final Draft Radio.
Sylvie's like,
that is right. We're back with the Galactic Guys Power Hour, and we've got Chris Spradley, the Beer Ninja, in house. We're talking we're diving deep into the beer numbers. I think we got cut off a little bit to pay some bills, but let's
gotta pay them bills.
Gotta pay them bills. Speaking about numbers, speaking of ninjas,
we kind of went back and forth a little bit about
nice socks.
Oh, look at those!
Oh, ninja socks. My
socks.
wife bought them for me because
I like that.
Cool.
I'm not a beer ninja. I'm an actual ninja.
if you're not following live on YouTube, you just gotta take a word for it.
Did
His
that
socks look cool.
disappear? No one can see me, right?
Yeah. Where'd he go?
How did he deceive me?
I like this guy.
With the beer numbers, one of the things that we kind of hit on in that last segment is they can be very misleading. Because when you're not taking in all the numbers, when you're not taking in draft, when you're not taking in on-premise sales, when you're not taking in breweries that aren't packaging at all, that you're not measuring true growth. Eureka Heights, they've started packaging. They bought a canning line. It was a couple of months ago, and just started putting beer out. Well, what about all the beer they sold in the tap room and on draft before that? So they're a part of the industry. They are growing.
Well, on that trend, think about Cedar Creek, that they're pulling back their package. They're only going to be selling cans on site. I mean, I picked this up in Alago, Texas. I won't not be able to get this anymore. I'll have to get this at the brewery.
Tell you, that's disappointing because that is a good beer.
That's a good beer. Exactly. That's why.
That's
as soon as I saw the press release, I went out and bought.
He went and bought a bunch of Dangosaurus. He's like got a stockpile.
I doubled down on Dangosaurus.
That is a very good beer.
Right?
It's a great beer, but then it's overshadowed by so much other new great beer. That's the problem. Is that how do great beers like this beer, and I want to say Yellow Rose because I don't see the hype from Yellow Rose anymore. Like how do
they had some damage control for a little while, but they bounced back, and we're drinking it. It's awesome, yeah.
Yellow Rose is still a solid beer.
But how do you keep it relevant in today's social media age and everybody talking about beer? Everybody's a beer influencer. You know what I mean? There's so many groups.
Speaking of social media, there was some big events this week in social media.
We had a couple of interesting social media scenarios.
Sylvia,
Wait, what are we talking about? What I posted on my page?
Yeah, we're talking about.
Oh no, we're talking.
So follow Sylvia on Facebook.
Yeah, Sylvia, the Beer Fed Mother, at Beer Fed Mother on Instagram and on Facebook. But no, I saw.
If you're cool,
I saw a article from a Ohio brewery tour called Passport Brew Tour, and they posted a very sexist type meme. It was some of the things where it was
What did it say?
Beer, comparing beer to women. What is why is beer better than women? Essentially, beer is always wet.